Hello, 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 everyone. It's your girl, RenaeThaDiva. And this is Let's Talk About It, a weekly podcast where we come on and we discuss things going on in our cities, in our states, in our country, in our nation, and even all the way around the world. So it's going to be a little bit different tonight. I'm having somewhat of some technical difficulties, so I apologize for being late. But I have some great announcements to go along with this that will actually probably even fix some of these problems. So let's talk about it, shall we? Let's shall. Let me first of all give a shout out to my sponsors. Of course, we have SEDM and Mr. Kenneth Brown of KB Renaissance Clothers, who is one of our sponsors, as well as Legacy Collection, who is also one of our other sponsors. And then we have the GPS. So make sure you go into the App Store and download Venue GPS. That's on both Apple and Google Play Store. So let's talk about it, shall we? Let's shall. So this is episode 15. It's monumental for me. You may think it's something small, but I think it's a very important thing to say that, we've done at least 15 episodes of this show. So I hope you are appreciating it. Please like, share, and follow. Make sure you are following us on the YouTube channels, which is Renee, RenaeThaDiva, and also Legacy Entertainment Studios. There's two separate YouTube channels. So make sure you follow them both. Subscribe. The subscription costs on those venues are free. We also are here live again every week. So again, if you hear or see any blunders, this is a live recording. We definitely are going to a different platform as far as how we are going to do the show. So coming forth soon, we actually will be on Yizer TV. So this show will be live. I will be in an actual studio versus my home office studio. And we will be able to have guests on live that way as well. Now, we will still have some guests that will be coming on our StreamYard platform because, again, some guests are not here in Indianapolis, Indiana, which is where I am, right? And then I will also be on location as well, especially coming into 2025. So just make sure you're staying tuned for that. So now that we got the sponsors in the way, let's talk about what's kind of going on in our world. So early voting numbers are indicating that the presidential race is very tight. Just make sure you vote. I'm again never going to tell you who to vote for, but I am going to tell you to vote. Very many people gave up their lives, their freedoms, their rights to have the right for you to vote. So I am definitely encouraging everyone to go out and vote. If you're not doing the early voting, make sure you're going out to vote on November the 7th. Okay. You will see me kind of going all over because I have several different platforms. I not only am the host of the show, I'm also the executive producer as well as posting all the content. So we're working on getting someone in to help me in a new studio. So again, just make sure you're looking forward to that. We definitely appreciate you. In other news, as well as the early voting, people are still again recovering from hurricanes Helene and Milton. So just keep those people that are in the southeast, in South Carolina and North Carolina especially, and even in Florida, in your prayers. Several people have been coming live, showing that, a lot of the lands there in Florida, especially around the Tampa Bay area, are still very much in desecrate. So keep those people in prayers. So the NBA has been in full swing. Hopefully your favorite team is doing well. My Indiana Pacers, they're getting there. I'm very proud of my Pacers. Of course, I have to also represent my home team, the Colts. So in sports news, there have been some roster changes to the Indianapolis Colts. So our star quarterback, Mr. Anthony Richardson, has been benched as of today. And 39-year-old Flacco will take the lead quarterback position. So we're just, again, hoping that our Colts go to playoff. We are keeping Anthony Richardson in our prayers. Come on back, Anthony. Okay. We're going to leave that there. So hopefully you are, again, being able to participate and root for your favorite NFL teams. Hopefully they are doing well. My Colts, come on. I'm with you. We got you. So, in entertainment news, the Gold Over America Tour is actually going to be here in Indianapolis, Indiana tonight. It features Olympians from the 2024 Games. It's more of an interesting display of acrobatics and entertainment. So if you're looking for something to do, there's always that. Now for my Swifties, guess who will be here this weekend? Yes, you guessed it. Miss Taylor Swift herself will be here for 3 shows. All of them are all sold out. So she will be here November the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, which is this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for her Eras tour. So if you are blessed enough to have gotten tickets, some may say, then I hope you enjoy the show. Me personally, I just was not going to pay over $1,000 to see an entertainer. I can do a lot more with $1,000. That's just my personal opinion. No hate mail from the Swifties. I'm proud of you for going. You go right ahead. Okay? All right. In other news, of course, also Halloween is this week. So we are reminding you to be safe, be cognizant of your surroundings. If you're going to parties, if you're an adult, make sure that you are be mindful of your drinks. If you're drinking, whether it's water or an alcoholic beverage, and that you're not putting your beverages down anywhere. Make sure that you are also cognizant for children. So if you're taking your children out trick-or-treating, make sure you're having their candy examined or you're examining it yourself. You can take it to your local fire departments. I know at least here you can in Indiana. I think you can just about all over the world or all over the United States. Rather, take your candy to your local fire department, have them x-ray it or examine it. You can take it to local hospitals, and they can also examine the candies to make sure there are no additives put into them. So just make sure you're, again, being safe and cognizant. I know a lot of the local churches also are doing like a trunk for treat. We don't call it necessarily trick or treat or Halloween activities, but you don't want to rob the kids of their innocence and their fun and wanting to dress up. So make sure you do that. Also check your local listings, because a lot of the zoos or other venues are also doing fall activities. Okay, so that is that. Tonight is going to be a fairly short, or not short, but a fairly simple show. Let me just again remind you to like, share, and follow RenaeThaDiva, RenaeThaDiva. Make sure you're also following and liking Legacy Entertainment Studios, especially on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram, and on TikTok, it's RenaeThaDiva. Hey, TikTok, hey. So I am coming on tonight as myself, also for my day job, which is Renee and Parker Agency. So for those of you who do not know, I am actually also an insurance agency owner. I do own a farmer's agency, but I am able to help with a number of different products. So whether it's life, health, accident, home, renters, auto, commercial auto, workers' comp, you name it, I can do it. I'm also licensed in several different states, including here in Indiana, my home state, Texas, Ohio, Georgia, Michigan, and more states to come. I plan to be licensed again in the majority of the United States because I feel like this is part of my calling, is to help people be insured in a number of different ways. So I get asked all the time, why should I have insurance, or what is the purpose of insurance? So that's always a great question. The way I like to position it to people with insurance is this. If you were to be unalived today, how would your family survive without you? Do you have family members that you want to make sure they are not burdened with your final expenses? Do you have items that you want to make sure goes to specific people? Do you have a home mortgage? Do you have an auto loan? Do you have credit cards that you owe on? Do you have any other number of commercial items that you would like to make sure that you are not burdening your remaining family, friends, or loved ones with? If you can answer yes to any of those questions, you need to be insured. This is why I say so. And I am speaking from real life experience. I lost my father about 3 going on 4 years ago now. And in losing him, I am glad that he listened to me. And we actually had his final expenses taken care of because he had a life insurance policy. With that being said, I still had to make sure that I was the one as the executive of his estate paying for his final utility bills, even making sure that his home was cleaned out. He was living in an not assisted living. He was living in a senior facility at the time of his demise, and getting that taken care of, getting that cleaned. And I'm just grateful that my children were here, of course, to help me as well. But those kind of things are things that you may not even think of having to take care of in the final stages or after someone has been unalived. And those are things that definitely do take place. So with that being said, also, you want to make sure, again, I'm sorry, I'm trying to kind of like multitask here. I'm doing several different platforms, but you want to make sure that those things are taken care of. How do you go about figuring out what amount of life insurance you need is a question that I also get a lot. And so those are also great questions. My best advice is to go ahead and remind people that in life insurance, you have to truly sit down and figure out your total budget. For those of you who are just joining me on the Facebook page, on Instagram, on TikTok, and even live here, just know that I am RenaeThaDiva. This is Let's Talk About It, a weekly podcast. We have had some technical difficulties, so I apologize for coming on late. But we are also making several announcements. We are going to be now live on TV in a studio where I will have guests come on, but I also will still be here on the StreamYard feature as well, so that it will broadcast simultaneously on both the YouTube channels, on Facebook, on TikTok, on all social media platforms. And then you will be able to go ahead and review the shows, the podcast each week by going to yizertv.com. And it's free to create an account, but we are always looking for sponsorships. So if you're interested in sponsoring Let's Talk About It, this show, this podcast, whether it's one single show or if it's a series of shows or a season of shows, please email us at legacyentstudios@gmail.com. And one of us will get back to you and make sure that we get you our sponsorship package. Okay. So don't have necessarily a special guest tonight. So I'm actually talking to everyone regarding insurance and why there's a need for insurance and how to be properly insured. So if you're just coming in, make sure you're liking, sharing, following. Make sure you're subscribing to the YouTube channels, which is Renae, RenaeThaDiva, or also our company page, which is Legacy Entertainment Studios. If you are interested in sponsorship or even being a guest on one of our podcasts, please email us at legacyentstudios@gmail.com. All right. Now that, again, I've kind of gotten that in the way, I'll go ahead and continue with the topic. So we're talking about tonight insurance and why there's a need for that. I get asked a lot of times because my profession is that I am an insurance agency owner. A lot of people don't know that until now that you guys know that. So my daytime job is I am an insurance agent. I am very excited also because this coming Friday, I get to go back to my alma mater, which is Lawrence Central High School. Go Bears. Woohoo! And I get to present to them a check for their athletic department. I am very much one that believes that our children are our future. There have been so many cuts financially to a lot of the what's considered extracurricular curriculum in a lot of the schools. So, a lot of the arts have been suffering. A lot of the sports have been suffering. Even a lot of the clubs have been suffering. So I know when I was in school, I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but it was a while ago in high school, I looked forward to being rewarded for my good grades by being able to participate in the extracurricular activities. Um, Even in seeing my children participate in those activities, I have 3 children, all of them are adult now. And even, remembering my youngest daughter telling me, she didn't want to participate in sports, but she wanted to actually be on more social teams, like, the collegiate 100 and doing things like that, being nominated class president, things of those natures. So just seeing again all different kinds of spectrums and the kids wanting to participate. Maybe that's the only outlet that some of these children have. So we gotta keep I sound ebonic, but we have to keep our extracurricular activities for these children alive. So if that means we donate, we donate. If it means we volunteer, we volunteer. If it means we have to fight for these programs to stay in the schools, we do. Okay, I'm not going to go off on a total tangent on this because that's not even what the show is supposed to be about. But I will go ahead and get back to the topic at hand. So, insurance and how much do you need? There are several different formulas that you put into the insurance equation if you're looking at a life insurance policy. You can do the insurance based upon what you owe in your mortgage, what you owe in auto loans, what you owe in credit card debt. These are things, again, that you do not want to pass on to your remaining family and loved ones. People say all the time, and if I had $1 for every time I heard people say this, I would be a billionaire. And it's unfortunate that way. People say all the time, oh, well, I'm too young to worry about life insurance. No, you're not. Tomorrow's not promised to any of us, unfortunately. So you need to be prepared, and you want to make sure that, again, you're not burdening your loved ones with your financial burdens. They're going to be going through a lot as it is if you were to be unalive. You don't want to leave a burden of finances on them. So then I also cover homeowners and renters insurance. So people say, well, I live in an apartment complex. They have it covered. Yes and no. They have their interests protected. They don't have the contents of your apartment or your condo covered. That's why you need to have even a renter's insurance policy. Auto insurance. 99.9% of the states require that you have auto insurance. So we definitely want to make sure that you are properly insured. Cars are more expensive. Going with your minimum coverage does not work anymore. I know it seems like the better option because, of course, everything in our lives has increased in price. Not necessarily in value, but definitely in price. But you need to make sure that you're properly insured. Make sure that you also have uninsured and underinsured motorist coverages. So let me explain the differences on those. Uninsured motorist coverage means that if you are in an accident with someone that does not have insurance, there is still coverage for you and your vehicle. Underinsured motorist coverage means that if you are in an accident with someone that has an insurance policy, but maybe they have state minimums, your insurance policy would then kick in and cover the difference between their state minimums and the value of your vehicle if you have the proper coverage. So I hope these tidbits are helping you. Please take the time to like, share, and follow RenaeThaDiva, RenaeThaDiva. Make sure you are also liking, sharing, and following Legacy Entertainment Studios. And just know that starting next week, we will be in studio and we will be on TV. So guess what? You guys will get to see the full me. I know people ask me all the time, why can't we see the full body of you? A lot of it is because, again, my camera setup. I am in a home office studio. So I just have it like at here up. But we will be live. You'll get to see a little bit more of my fashion sense. And you also will be able to see guests when they come in studio. We will still be using StreamYard, just FYI, because, again, this will allow me to interview and have special guests that are not necessarily here in Indianapolis, Indiana. So if you are interested in being a guest on my podcast, I welcome you to do so. Please email us at legacyentstudios@gmail.com. Just know again that we also will be on Yizer TV. That's YIZZOR TV.com starting next week. And we'll be in a new studio. So thank you again for your support. Back to today's topic, just with one final point for tonight, okay? Insurance, homeowners. I cannot stress enough how important it is to have a homeowner's policy. We talked about renters, we talked about auto, and some of those tips. So let's talk about homeowners. If you own a home, do not assume that you have the protection in your mortgage. Yes, when you close on your home, they required you to have an insurance policy, but a lot of policies, whether it's homeowners or renters, if the finance company notices that there is no policy, they will actually attach one to your home. And it very well may not give you all the coverage that you need for your home. Another reason why you want to have your own insurance policy is because a lot of times the policies that the finance company is going to put on your home is going to be almost 10 times more than what you could be paying by having a standalone policy. With your homeowners also, make sure that you are declaring your roof, any improvements you've had done, and if you have a basement or a foundation other than a slab, make sure that you also have coverage for your pipes. The reason why that is because a lot of policies will have it to the point where they will cover the pipes inside of your home, but they do not cover the pipes outside of your home that could cause damage. So it's very important to make sure that you understand your homeowner's insurance policy. If you do not understand your policy, and I advise everyone to review your policy at least every 6 months. Make sure you get in contact with your agent and ask questions. If your agent doesn't want to answer those questions, feel free to get in contact with me. I'll be more than happy to give you a quote. The quotes are no obligation and they are free, no matter what state you're in. Definitely in the life insurance area, no matter what state you're in, I can write you a policy. I hope this information has been helpful. Again, next week, we will be on Yizer TV. Again, we'll be live. We will be again, let's talk about it. Your host will be still me, RenaeThaDiva. So make sure you're liking, sharing, following all of our social media. Make sure you tune in. And I will say good night for now. Bye-bye. So for those of you who are still live, whether you are on TikTok,